Hi everyone, Ken from the Thousand Mile Project here. Today I'm going to be talking about beginner textbooks, the ones that I chose when I first started studying classical Chinese, which I highly recommend to anyone getting into the study of this particular language. The first textbook that I read, part of anyway, was Introduction to Classical Chinese by Patrick Hanan and others. This is a PDF that you can download for free off of the press.rebus.community website. It's a pretty solid introduction to classical Chinese. I found that it gave me an overview of what the language is like and gave me a taste of whether it would be something I'd be interested in studying or not. It's probably my least favorite of the three textbooks that I have for beginners, not because there's anything wrong with it, but it lacks a certain amount of polish. But for getting your feet wet in classical Chinese and seeing whether it's something that you're interested in studying, I think that's a very solid thing to start with. The next textbook that I bought after that was Classical Chinese for Everyone, A Guide for Absolute Beginners by Brian W. Van Norden. I got this as a Kindle ebook on Amazon, and this is a really good textbook. I highly recommend it. It's especially good in the sense that it assumes that you don't necessarily have a background in Mandarin or Japanese, and you're coming into it without that sort of background. And so its description of being a guide for absolute beginners is very accurate. I think that this is a good first textbook to buy if you're on the market for one. I find that the grammatical explanations in it are a little more approachable than the ones in the textbook I'm going to talk about next, which is An Introduction to Literary Chinese by Michael A. Fuller. I got this one recommended to me a lot by different YouTubers, and I definitely am glad that I bought it, but the grammatical explanations I found were a little more in-depth and dense. If grammar isn't your favorite thing in the world, you probably will enjoy Classical Chinese for Everyone a bit more, in my opinion. But I'm definitely glad that I bought the Fuller textbook because it's definitely got a lot more depth, and it's divided into, I believe, 4 or 5 parts, and it's in progressive levels of difficulty. I'm about 5 chapters in, and I've been enjoying it so far. The last one that I would recommend is A Student's Dictionary of Classical and Medieval Chinese. This is probably my favorite of the 4 books just because of how much use I get out of it. It's really great for getting glosses, English glosses for the meaning of different characters. I use this primarily for putting English definitions of characters on the back of my Anki flashcards. So I really love this textbook. In fact, the fact that it's alphabetized by romanization of Chinese characters that's used in the People's Republic actually got me interested in learning or memorizing the pronunciation of different characters just because it makes it easier to look things up in it. And also that kind of helps you by giving you an extra hook for your memory to remember what a character's meaning is. So yeah, if you want to get started with studying classical Chinese, I highly recommend these 4 textbooks. At the very least, I would say get either Van Norden or Fuller's textbook and Kroll's dictionary. That's a very solid start. I've also bought a couple of books on Chinese grammar, but I haven't really had the chance to go in depth into reading those. I've just looked up a couple of things in it so far while studying, and they've been good so far, but I'll hold off on recommending them until I have more experience with them. I'll probably do a follow-up video of intermediate textbooks further down the line. Anyway, if you're enjoying the video, then please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I look forward to talking to you more about classical Chinese in the next video. Take care.